Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. Dalvin Cook has recently visited the New York Jets, and the signing with the Jets for him seems imminent. Not only this, but of course, rookie running back last year, Breece Hall, looked absolutely phenomenal before tearing his ACL. And even rookie running back off of free agency, Zonovan Knight, also looked really good last year. So Michael Carter is clearly the odd man out. In today's video, we're going to be analyzing Michael Carter's situation in order to answer the question, what's next for Michael Carter? Michael Carter went to UNC for college, and of course, Michael Carter wasn't necessarily the bell cow back in college, as he split carries with another very good NFL running back, Javonte Williams. Despite this, Michael Carter still looked really good at UNC as a pro prospect coming into the NFL. In fact, he played good enough at college to be a fourth-round pick in 2021 by the New York Jets, and he came into the New York Jets organization and actually looked really good in somewhat limited playing time in his rookie season. He ended up playing in 14 games, and in 14 games, he had 639 yards, 4 touchdowns on 4.3 yards per carry. Not only this, but he looked really good in the receiving game, very promising, 36 catches for 325 yards. That's why when the 2022 NFL Draft rolled around, no one really expected the Jets to make a big move at running back, but of course this was not the case as they selected Breece Hall. Now this move confused some people, but Breece Hall is an absolute stud. They couldn't believe that he fell to the second round for them to select him. He was too good to pass up on. So it was very obvious that at the very best, Michael Carter in the 2022 NFL season would be a backup running back, a change of pace guy to him. But then Breece Hall ended up getting injured in his rookie season, so this was a great opportunity for Michael Carter to show out and play really well. And quite simply, guys, to be honest, this did not happen. In my opinion, Michael Carter actually looked really bad last year. He had a couple good games, such as the Bills game that I will show you, but for the most part, he left a lot on the table to be desired, and he overall just regressed his game from the previous season. Now, he still looked very good in the receiving game, as he still put up 41 catches, but he only had 288 yards, so less receiving yards on more catches for Michael Carter last year compared to his rookie year. And of course, last season, he had 402 yards and 3 touchdowns. Really, the worst part about his stat line is that 3.5 yards per carry. Not only is that very below league average, but that make him one of the least efficient runners of the football in the entire National Football League last year. In response to this, the Jets really made it no secret that they were trying to replace Michael Carter. Not only did they make a mid-season trade for running back James Robinson to mix it up in the lineup, not only this, but of course Zonovan Knight, the undrafted free agent, ended up basically taking Michael Carter's job and looking better doing so. So Michael Carter seems as though he's not going to be a New York Jet for that much longer. He's most likely going to get traded in the next couple of months. Before I break down 2 really nice fits I would like to see Michael Carter end up with, let's analyze Michael Carter as a talent, analyze some of his strengths and weaknesses in order to determine, is it even worth a team trading for him? Michael Carter reminds me a lot of a slightly worse version, a slightly out of prime Giovanni Bernard, a player I really liked, a guy who was always a fringe starter. Everyone always thought Giovanni Bernard was really good as a change of pace guy. He always came in with very fresh legs and looked really good, but every time he was the starter, he always left a lot to be desired, and that really does remind me of Michael Carter. Now, Carter is definitely a very good third down back. Not only does he have very sure hands and solid route running as a receiving back, he's actually a very nice pass blocker as well, really adding that second layer to that third down back role. He's about an average to slightly below average athlete at the running back position at the NFL level. He has okay athleticism with slightly above average vision, which I do like out of Michael Carter. He, for the most part, does make the right reads on the table. It's just that Zonovan Knight, for example, is slightly more physically talented than a Michael Carter, despite being undrafted. He has about B speed, I would say, with pretty solid agility and acceleration. Now, Michael Carter is, of course, a very small guy out there. He's 5'8", and he's about 200 pounds, a little bit over that 200-pound mark, and he's somewhat shifty, but he has okay power. I think his power is a bit deceptive, and he can run over guys sometimes, but I think he over-relies on that power profile and consistently is tackled pretty quickly into the the play because he thinks he can truck the defender, when in reality that just has not worked for him all that much at the NFL level, even though we've definitely seen flashes of him being somewhat powerful. And again, he's not the shiftiest guy in the world, so he's not making all that many people miss. He does have a really nice one cut, as you can see in this video, and he definitely has the ability to make some guys miss, not at a consistent level though. And with that lack of speed, he's not really burning guys at the second level. In his second season in the NFL last year, his longest run was 25 yards, so a lot to be desired in over 100 attempts. I do really like Michael Carter still as a backup running back, a change of pace guy, a guy that can come in and relieve the really good starter in front of him. So to answer my question I just asked, I do still think it's worth it for a team to trade for Michael Carter, as these teams I'm about to name and even more teams that are not in today's video do not have a backup running back as good as Michael Carter, and I'm very confident in saying so. Michael Carter is still a top 70 running back in the National Football League, in my opinion. And that first team I really want to trade for Michael Carter is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. I'm very nervous about their running back situation going into the season. Now, of course, Tony Pollard is an absolute stud. He's a jack of all trades, master of a lot as well. He can really mix it up in the receiving game. He's very good in between the tackles and that outside zone as well. It's just the injury concern with Tony Pollard at this point. Of course, he suffered a pretty major injury last season, so he's going to be coming into this season at not 100%. So you would like an all-around nice running back to complement him and get about 8 to 10 carries or 8 to 10 touches a game. So the backup running backs on the Dallas Cowboys are Malik Davis. I do like Malik Davis, but I think Michael Carter is slightly better than him. Deuce Vaughn, a guy I just don't think you can rely on early on in his NFL career. I'm just not sure a guy that small is going to work. Even if he does, he's going to have a very specific role. He's not going to be a jack-of-all-trades type guy. They do have Rico Dowdle, who's not bad. Then they have potentially Ronald Jones, who I honestly think absolutely sucks. So I think Michael Carter would come into this running back room as the clear number 2, and he'd be a very nice change of pace guy for Tony Pollard. The second team that I really want to see trade for Michael Carter is another team with a stud starting running back, and that is, of course, the Cleveland Browns. They have Nick Chubb, but he's really starting to get up there in terms of mileage. He's been in the NFL for quite a long time. He's had so many carries, and he has had somewhat of an injury concern in his career. So the Browns really could use a nice relief option to Nick Chubb. Not only that, they really don't use him in the receiving game, and that's something that Deshaun Watson wants, and that's something that Michael Carter can absolutely deliver. I actually really like Michael Carter as a third down back with the Cleveland Browns. Now, as backups, they have Jerome Ford and Demetrius Felton. I'm just not convinced those guys are better than Michael Carter. Thanks for listening to this video, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Michael Carter? Do you agree with my take that he's still a very good backup running back and he could still have a lot to offer another NFL team? If you listen until the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Smack that like and hit the subscribe. Again, thanks for listening, guys.